It's time for Lawrenceburg Almost Live with your hosts, Tiffany and Tia.
Hi, this is Tia, and this is my friend Denise. And we are with Lawrenceburg Almost Live this week. You can tell that I am not used to doing the introduction. That is Tiffany's forte. And Tiffany could not be here this week. She had a last-minute kids sporting event that she didn't know was happening, and so we relied on our friend Denise.
Again, like 45 minutes.
I was going to say, did you have about an hour's
Yeah,
notice?
maybe, yeah.
Maybe. So she's filling in for Tiffany this week. But Tiffany and I have been in court all day today, and bless her heart, she's just swamped, and she's exhausted, and she's trying to do two people's jobs, and she's doing a great job. So sometimes we need to remind her of that. Tiffany's doing a great job, but she's just doing a lot. She has a lot on her plate. And so we are thankful that Denise was willing to step up at the last second. You can always count on one of your besties to come in there. I was texting her and I was like, are you back in town? So we've got lots of stuff to talk about this week.
Yep.
What do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the hurricane?
Let's talk about the hurricane. That's right.
Okay. Not gonna affect us. Let's hope.
Right, I hope.
Maybe some rain, residual rain.
But I work for Bluegrass Energy, so we're a local electric utility, and we have received several calls over the last few days from the media and different folks wanting to know if we're going to send help to the areas where the hurricane is forecasted to hit. And typically what we do there is we stand in place and wait for the threat of the weather to go past our service area. And once we know our members are in the clear and we're not going to have any damage, then we release our guys to go and help others. So we've already identified some folks and some pieces of equipment that we'll be sending if needed, which unfortunately I think they're going to need a lot of help the way the forecast is.
Way.
That's right. So, but we won't send them to next week, but there's already a large contingent that's on the way down there to weather the storm and be there when it's over.
So they won't be going before.
No.
We'll wait to make sure. So
Yes.
if we do have some residual rain, because there's a chance, depending on the American model or depending
Right.
on the European model, I'm not a weather forecaster by any chance of the means, but depending on which direction it takes, if it goes further south, there's a chance that we could get some residual rain that could come to Kentucky.
Right.
They're not expecting it to be storm-wise.
Right.
But if we have a power outage, how does that work?
Right. Well, let's take a major event like if it was a hurricane or the storm we had back in the first part of August, I think it was, when it was multiple days. People get really frustrated when their power goes out.
Absolutely, because I want my stuff to work.
That's right. But there really is a method to the madness. And a lot of people get frustrated because they'll say, well, I haven't seen a truck on my street to come and repair, and it's been 2 days. Well, the way it works is, let's use water, for example. More people are familiar with water. If the water tower that supplies water to the town is laying over on the ground,
Right.
we have to fix that water tower before we can come to your house and fix your kitchen faucet.
Yes, because if you turn the faucet
That's
on,
right.
you fix the faucet and turn the faucet on, still nothing's going to come
That's
out
right.
because the water tower's laying over.
That's exactly how electricity is. So we have to get the main lines, like our substations and transmission lines. We have to make sure those are all in working order. And sometimes that can be a long time.
So that may be the reason why they're not seeing
Right.
trucks on their street.
Right. So whenever we have a major outage like that, we work in shifts around the clock. Obviously, we try to work most people during the daylight because we can get more work
Right.
done. But we do have crews all throughout the night when we have big outages like that. And that will be how it is for the folks that are going to be hit by this hurricane.
And I know that those guys, because, I know some of those guys.
Right.
Sonny Chapman's my cousin, works with
Right.
Denise. Our buddy Travis Long is one of their linemen. So we know, obviously, she knows all of them. I only know a few of them.
Yeah.
But I know they work themselves to
Yeah.
death when we have a storm, like hours and hours and a little bit of sleep and hours again. So.
And as it goes on, people obviously lose their patience, but we need to remember that the guys out there on top of a pole, that's somebody's dad or somebody's son or somebody's husband that has maybe been out working for days.
And sometimes they don't have electricity at their
That's
house
right.
either.
Most of the time, that's
They
what
don't have
happens.
electricity at home
That's
either.
right.
So they're taking a shower in the dark
Yeah.
so that they can go to work to get our electricity
Right.
back on.
So say some prayers for the folks in that area where the hurricane's going to be. They're forecasting it to be devastating. So
Yeah.
certainly keep them in your prayers.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so now that we talked about all the kind of stuff. Let's talk about the fun stuff.
Yeah.
So let's talk about UK football.
Oh, what about that?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
exciting.
I don't care for NFL football. Most people know that. There's lots of reasons why I don't care for NFL football. One is because of the exorbitant salaries, but that's a whole nother show. So, but I do like college football because those boys are there getting a scholarship just like any other sport.
That's right.
And for years UK's just had this reputation of, just
Terrible.
being up and then down a little bit, and then they'll be up a little bit more, and then be down a whole lot. And so, UK had not beaten Florida in 31 games.
That's right.
So even last year they got really, really close.
Right.
When they were at Commonwealth Stadium, Kroger Field.
Right.
So this year for those of you who didn't watch, I'm sure if you're a UK fan, you're aware of what happened.
Yeah.
But they actually beat Florida at the Swamp.
At the Swamp. Made it even sweeter.
Yes, which made it even more awesome. So the quick recap, the part that entertained me the most was if you were watching it and UK's ahead by 5 points and we're all so excited, we're like, oh, they're finally going to win, and Florida has the ball and they go for 2 so they can get within 3, and that didn't work, and then we had the ball again and Florida had the ball for the last few seconds. And so Florida, there's 9 seconds left on the clock, and Florida is going to it's going to be a Hail Mary pass, right? Because that's the only choice you have. And so one of the UK guys comes up behind the quarterback, the Florida quarterback, and strips him of the ball.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who don't understand football, if it actually starts to make a forward pass, it's an incomplete pass. Florida keeps the ball. However, if it's ruled not an incomplete pass and he strips the ball, then it's ruled a fumble. Okay? So the ball comes out, falls on the ground, the UK player runs over, picks it up, and he starts to go to the end zone to score for UK. And everybody kind of stops playing, but Mark Stoops is on the line, running down there, and he's telling him to go, go, go. And so the player kind of was like, he'd already kind of stopped, and he was getting ready to flip the football back to the referee. Like, okay, the play's over, and here's the football back, and we're going to carry on, okay? And there's 4 seconds left or something like that. And then he realizes that nobody's blown the whistle.
Yeah. Takes off running.
Okay, the best part was the look on his face when he realized the play was not dead.
Right.
And he gathers up the ball and takes off running. And then the next best part was the Florida players look on his face when he realizes that the guy's running from him. And he went, oh! And I won't say what I really said in real person.
Yeah, don't.
But the look, even with the helmet on, you could see the look on his face was priceless. And he chases him to the end zone, and he knocks him down just to the end zone, and he crosses the end zone line, and he scores a touchdown, and they reviewed it, and UK won, and that's why they beat him 27-16. It was
fantastic.
Awesome. It was awesome.
Definitely one for the record books, for sure.
Yes, even my husband, who's not a big football fan, was watching it with me, and he was like, look at that! And I was like, I know, wasn't that great?
Well, that was definitely a confidence booster. So I believe they're at home this weekend. They play Moorhead, right? No,
Murray.
Murray.
Which is Mr. Producer's alma mater.
I'm actually going there tomorrow.
Yes?
Yeah.
And what are you going for?
The Kentucky Lineman's Rodeo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got guys competing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mr. Producer's alma mater is Murray, and his wife is an alumni of Murray State. So it's lots of people in Kentucky that's been to Murray State. So, but they do have a game Saturday. So good luck, boys. Since we're talking about football.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk Bearcat football.
Homecoming this weekend.
Homecoming is this weekend, but first, so they're 4-0 now, right?
That's what they are.
Okay, so because they won last weekend at Valley, which is in Louisville. Remember I said I wasn't going to Louisville. And so they're 4-0, and so now they are ranked 13th in the state, and they are ranked 3rd in Class 5A.
Right.
Anderson County Bearcat football is ranked 3rd in Class 5A and 13th in the state.
I wonder how long it's been since
That's what I was just getting ready to say. You read my mind. I don't know how long. I don't know how long it's been since they've been ranked that high.
Right. I don't remember.
Even they went to the playoffs, state playoffs, a couple of years, but this early in the season, I know they weren't ranked that early, high that early.
Right.
So, but if you go to lex18.com, they are having people vote for the game of the week. There's 3 games that you can vote for. Anderson, Franklin County, that's who Anderson plays this week for homecoming. And so that is one of the games that you can vote for to be the game of the week. And so I've already voted.
We looked a while ago, and it was leading by
We were ahead.
pretty
Yes.
good margin. But
Yes. So we were ahead, but y'all gotta get on there and vote. So if you don't want to go to lex18.com, you can go to the Anderson Tourism Facebook page, and they have a link on there, and that will take you directly to them. And be sure to vote for it, and then that will be the featured game of the week, which means lots of TV coverage is what that amounts to.
Yep.
Okay.
Also, this weekend there is a. Let's see, the Mothers of Brothers,
Yes.
which they're like a booster organization.
Yes, we've talked about that in the past.
Okay, well, they're having a silent auction Friday. So if you'd like to donate or specifically bid, I'm
Yes.
sure they would appreciate that.
Yes. And if you can't be at the game, I'll be there. But if you can't be at the game and you want to watch it at on TV, it's going to be live. Anderson County Sports TV. Mr. Producer will be filming. It will be live. How can they watch that? Is it on YouTube or Facebook or both?
Facebook.
Just Facebook. Okay, but not on YouTube. Okay. So Facebook Live. I'm sorry, Facebook Anderson County Sports TV on Facebook. It will be live. If you watch it on YouTube later, it will not be live, but it will be on YouTube later. Correct? Okay, gotcha. Yes, and Channel 6 too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, because they're showing our show on Channel 6, right? Do we know when that airs? I don't know when that airs. Jesse Kearns, you need to tell us when that airs. Jesse Kearns is the one that's doing that for us.
Okay.
But I don't know when it airs. So, obviously, you have to watch us on Facebook right now, or you can watch it on our YouTube channel. But they're actually showing us on Channel 6.
It's awesome.
We get lots of views.
Well, speaking of Bearcats,
Yes.
there's the Bearcat Basketball Skills Clinic. So if you have a basketball player in grades 1 through 8, the Skills Clinic is September the 22nd, which is on a Saturday, and it's from 9 to 11. So it's going to be at the high school, and if you're interested, it is $25, and you can make the checks payable to the high school. And I'm sure you can. Can you register that day?
I think so.
You probably can.
I think so. Brian Hyatt coached the boys, and some of the basketball players are going to help with that clinic. 1st through 8th grade, did you say that? I'm
Yes,
sorry, I
1st
started
through 8th
looking at
grade.
something. Because I realized that I didn't write this down when we were making our notes. I want to talk about the volleyball, Bearcat volleyball. So it was on Facebook. Melissa Chandler, Tiffany sent me this. They had a loss earlier this week, but they came out strong and beat Spencer County the other night at home. So I don't know if they had any other games earlier in the week, but they did take a loss, and then they had a big win. So good for them.
Gotcha.
Good job, girls.
Another thing that's going on September the 22nd is our honor flight that Bluegrass
Oh, yes.
Energy and the other Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives are sponsoring. So we mentioned that the last time I was on, but the honor flight is where we take a flight of veterans to Washington for the day to see their memorials. And obviously World War II veterans have priority.
Right.
But we also take some from the Korean War and also Vietnam. Right. So that is September 22nd. But what makes that such a success is when they come home, we have what's called a welcome home ceremony. And it's at the Bluegrass Airport.
Yes.
And if you would like to come be a part of that, we encourage you to. We would love for you to come.
It's like at 8 o'clock.
It's at 8 o'clock. That's what time we want folks to be there. Parking is free that night. You don't have to pay to park.
And they'll even put you in a shuttle bus and bring you up to the front
That's
door.
right. And it is awesome.
Yes, I've done it before.
mean,
it is awesome.
You really can't describe. It is just, you talk
There's
about patriotism.
flags, and you bring your red, white, and blue stuff,
Yes.
and you wear red, white, and blue stuff.
Yes.
And you clap for them, and you yell
Yeah.
for them, and they're so appreciative.
It means the world to those
Yes.
those guys.
They are so sweet
Yeah,
because
and
it's usually
ladies.
it's
Yeah.
usually men, not always, but it's usually men, and they are so excited and they're
Yes.
so appreciative, and it just oh.
My son, who is 14, I have made him go almost every year since he was about 7 or 8, because it's a good way to show somebody, especially a child like that, what patriotism is,
Right.
or what respect and honor
Right.
is. So it's, I don't care what age you are, it's very moving.
Yes.
So
Well, I have lots of friends who are veterans, some who are still serving. My neighbor and friend, Jose Batista, who's right from
Right.
here in Lawrenceburg, he's in Afghanistan right now.
Oh, okay.
So he's doing another tour. He's not going to get to come home until January. So his wife and his 2 children
Yeah.
have been without him since February.
oh gosh.
So,
Yeah.
so it's tough. So, we're thinking about you, Jose, and we send him some private messages on Facebook. And, of course, his wife gets to talk to him just about every day, usually through Skype or something, depending on what's going on. But she was telling me the other day, it's Lynette Britton Batista, for those of you who know her. The other day, she was actually talking to him, and they were getting bombed while she was talking to him. And I went, how does that happen? And she said, well, sometimes he says, honey, I got to go. I'll call you back. And she was like, okay. And she said, and she hangs up, and then he
Yeah.
goes and does what he needs to do, and then he comes back.
Absolutely, the families of service members.
I was like, "Can you hear it in the background?" She went, "Oh yeah,
Special
You-
people.
You can hear the bombs going off in the
Absolutely.
background." I'm like,
Wow.
"You can hear the bombs that they're shooting?" She's like, "Yeah."
Right.
I was like, "How scary is that?"
Right.
So, okay, all right, now, so let's talk about what's coming up. What else is coming up this weekend? Because before we jump, because we talked about the 22nd, but we have car show is also Friday night here on Main Street. So you got football, homecoming football is
Yes.
Friday night. You've got the car show is Friday night.
Is that the Wheels of Time?
Yes, that's Wheels of Time. That's the monthly car show.
Yeah.
And then they'll still have one more for the year in October. But also this weekend, this is the one that Tiffany and I want to go to on Saturday. But Saturday night's the homecoming dance, and I've got a kid that's going to a homecoming dance, and I just don't know that I'm going to be able to work it out because I really want to go, but I got to be there for her. And it's her first homecoming, and I'm like, why do they have to be at the same time? So they are having the home and garden tour, which is Saturday, and it's from 3 to 7, and it has 15 locations throughout the community, including the Rippey House. The tickets are $20, can be purchased at the Tourism Office, Farmers Market, Rising Suns Winery, and Carver Halls Garden Center. And then you're going to get to see stone fences, and then at the end of the night, you get to go to Rising Suns, and they're going to have door prizes and all kinds of
Cool.
stuff like
Sounds
that.
fun.
I know. I really want to go.
So the benefit, it's a benefit for bleachers at the park.
Yeah.
that what that money
no,
goes
no,
to?
that's what this next part is.
Oh, that's for the next one. Okay,
You-
I'm
you
sorry.
jumping ahead of
I'm
me.
sorry. Got ahead of you.
Yeah, that's just cause.
Gotcha.
So what she's talking about is the Summerfest put on by the Rotary, and it's at the American Legion, and it is Saturday night from 6:30 to 11. The tickets are $5, and they have all this stuff that's going on. They got music and food and fun and I said music. Concord Public's playing, Kids Zone. They're also going to have some Wheels of Time people there, and then all of that money goes to purchase bleachers
Right,
at
those are
the
in
rec
bleachers.
football league. Right.
They're getting bleachers. I just got it confused over
Right.
who was getting
Right. So you were on the right track.
Gotcha.
So the other thing that they had this weekend is the Lawrenceburg Ghost Walk. They are going to be this weekend on Friday night at 8 o'clock and Saturday night at 8 o'clock, the September 14th and 15th. Today's Wednesday, by the way, in case you don't know what day we're taping, because we're not doing live right now. So it might be posted later tonight, Mr. Producer, or tomorrow morning. So you might be seeing this late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. So we have lots of stuff going on this weekend. We also have, let's see. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. No, I got something on the 20th over here. Hang on. Before we get to the 22nd. Okay, so we've got the Buck Meadow Farm Fest. It's the Anderson County Community Early Childhood Council invites you to the 2018 Free Fall Festival at Buck Meadow Farm, which is at 1323 Nineveh Road. That's on Thursday, September the 20th from 5:30 to 7:30. It's free. They got the corn maze, the kitty corn maze, a jumping pillow, a petting zoo, dairy and farm education center, the cotton pit, I'm not sure what that is, the corn crib, I do know what that is. I've spent some time in some corn cribs, Ninja Warrior, the trike track, Straw Mountain, and slide. So that's a good thing to take your kids to. That's the 20th. Now, on the 22nd, we have the battles of the Lawrenceburg and Dog Walk. The reenactments are over here in the county park by the middle school, and they will be on for the public viewing on Saturday the 22nd and Sunday the 23rd, and I think it goes all day.
So
Is
the
that what
other
you got?
thing that's going on the 22nd is Signature Health, or Heritage Hall as we've known it.
Yes.
They are having a car show fundraiser also from 5 to 9. So I think the time has passed for registration maybe, but you can still come and look at the cars and participate.
Yeah,
right?
because they're having food
Right.
and all kinds of food and music. So I think the time is for to put your car in it. It's already gone, but anybody else can come.
Right.
And it's going to be right down there by the nursing home, Western Avenue, because I didn't know where Western Avenue was, and she
just
tell
right
me.
off Main Street.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just never knew that was the name of the street. Then we also have the next weekend, which is the weekend of the 28th through the 30th, is the Burger Festival.
Yes. I actually was visiting with Pam Rice, the president of the chamber, last week. And I think last Tuesday she said that all the booths had sold but maybe 7. So they're going to have a lot of vendors and
Good.
Yeah.
They've got almost all the booths sold.
Yep.
So they have a couple more committee meeting dates if you want to help with that. There's one on September the 18th. There's one on September the 25th. They're 5:30 at the Anderson County Senior Citizens. They are also having for the Burger Festival. So they have the music, they have different booths. One of our deputies is that I know of. I'm sure the sheriff probably is, and some of our police officers, but they're actually going to be in a Dunkin' booth.
Wow.
I'm saving up my money.
I'm sure there'll be.
I'm going to go throw some balls to some people. I'm just saying.
There'll probably be a line. Maybe a line there.
I'm like, ooh, you mean I get a chance to dunk you in some water when I work with you every day?
That's
okay. All right. I got a pretty good arm. I'm just saying.
There you go.
And then they have lots of contests. They've got pumpkin painting contests, and they've got, or pumpkin carving contest, and an ugly lamp contest. So there's a whole bunch of contests they got that you can participate in. I've not heard anything about a pageant this year. So
I haven't
don't
either.
know
But
if
normally
maybe-
they do, but I haven't.
Right. I haven't
heard
seen
anything.
or heard anything about that, so I don't know if they're having that or not. Also for the splash park will be open until September the 30th, the last day of this month. So you can still take your kids to the splash park. It was kind of chilly this past weekend and this week, but it's starting to warm up again.
I think there's been a lot of people to take advantage of that this summer.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a great addition out there.
Absolutely. And especially when it's hot. But I think by like Friday it's supposed to be 85 degrees again or something. So I'm going to be sweating at the ball game.
It's that time of year of crazy weather.
Right. You got anything else on your notes on that? I've only got 3 other things over here for us to talk about because, one of them.
Well, I've got the mums. If anybody's looking for some mums, the FFA at the high school, they're selling mums. I believe they're from Dana Brook. So you have to turn the order in by September the 20th. And they're, I think, $10, and there's a variety of colors. So I'm sure you can contact the high school and place your order, or anyone in the FFA. So
I've already bought mums for the football team because they were doing it as a fundraiser. Cheerleaders were doing it as a fundraiser. I'm like, y'all wearing me out for some mums.
it's a good way to get your fall flowers and help the FFA.
Absolutely. Okay, so I didn't miss it a lot of times, or I didn't see it because I missed it. A lot of times I do. I'm up that time of night, but apparently Matthew McConaughey.
Oh yeah, I'm always asleep at that time of night.
I'm not.
I watched it on.
I'm not
YouTube.
I'm not an early morning girl. I'm a night gal. So, this Mr. Producer's the same way. My brother, he's shaking his head that yes, he's on the same page, and we must get that on us because 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm not much help to you. 8 o'clock at night, I'm like, what do you want to do now?
Yeah, not me.
So, but Matthew McConaughey was on Jimmy Fallon. Well,
It was so funny.
Yes. So first of all, I like Jimmy Fallon. But if you didn't see it, you can go to Anderson County Tourism's Facebook page, and he's got a link on there. So Denise and I watched it a while ago, and Laura, because we're here at the coffee house, and I think she's already gone, but she was back there somewhere a while ago. Mr. Producer watched it with us. And so the very first part of his interview, guess what he talks about? He talks about being the
Lawrenceburg.
spokesperson for being Wild Turkey.
Yeah.
And he talks about Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. He actually names us by name. So he talks about Wild Turkey. He talks about Eddie Russell, Jimmy Russell. He talks about Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. And then he talks about how, and Jimmy Fallon is so excited. He was like, how do I get that gig? Well, come on, Jimmy. Come on down here. We'll give you a little Kentucky loving. So he talks about how he talked to Eddie and Jimmy about he wanted to come up with his own juice, as he called it.
That's what he called it. Juice.
Yeah, that's what he called it, juice. So it's his own flavor of bourbon. And so, because he's from Texas, they decided to put some mesquite, and they tried several different kinds. They sent him 88 different samples, like little small bottles.
And it was over a long period of time.
Yes, we hope.
Yeah.
We assume.
Yeah.
We assume. And he made the joke about that, his sweat equity in this job was sitting and tasting bourbon to figure out which one he liked the best.
That's right.
So they finally picked one, and that is Wild Turkey's Long Branch.
So that's how that came about.
Yeah. So, and he said there's going to be more released in September. So this is September, so it should be just any time. He said there's going to be a big ad campaign for it. So that's great for Wild Turkey. It's great for our business. It's great for our hometown.
Speaking of Wild Turkey, did you see where they've put the big photo op, the big bird on the side of the building?
So that's one of those things. So if you haven't ever been out to the visitor center, I have. It's really
It's
nice.
amazing. The view of the river is crazy.
So if you go to the front door and you go in, and there's the gift shop and all that, and they have a tasting room and all that. But even if you're not inside the building and you walk out to the far end of that building, you're on one of the cliffs overlooking the river, and the view is absolutely phenomenal.
And with the colors getting ready to change,
it's beautiful. And so I've gone out there and gotten gifts before. My husband's a Wild Turkey fan. You can also see Wild Turkey from my back deck. I'm just saying. And I have those Wild Turkey beams on my fireplaces. our mantles on our fireplaces are from the wild turkeys when they had the warehouses that burnt about 15, 20 years ago. They salvaged some of those beams, and we got 2 of those, and they're our mantles and our 2 fireplaces in our house.
Cool
and my
story.
granddaddy worked at Wild Turkey years ago. So,
But if you want to have a really neat picture, the whole side of the building in
yes.
the front is like a big turkey.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
So we have, I have some antique wild turkey bottles that were my mom and daddy's that belonged to my granddaddy before that. And so, they're the porcelain turkey decanters. So that's the same turkey that's on.
Yeah.
It's a giant, I don't know how many feet it is.
A lot.
A lot. It's big.
a lot.
It's as big as the building.
Yeah.
And so the little caption on the picture, because it's Jimmy Russell standing out there, and it says, "Come take a selfie with our bird."
Yeah.
And so he's standing there next to the big bird, and it says Wild Turkey on it. So it's a great selfie spot or tourism spot. So if you want to go out there and check that out. So we talked about
anybody says there's not anything to do in Lawrenceburg,
absolutely.
you're not looking.
And who else has got Matthew McConaughey as a
Really?
spokesperson?
I know.
I'm like, okay, I've never been one of these chicks that just kind of drool over somebody that's good looking, but let me tell you what.
Well, I will say,
Matthew McConaughey,
when they delivered the
turkeys, and I missed it.
I got one and I'm very thankful for it, but I was a little disappointed Matthew didn't bring me mine.
Yeah, well, my mama wasn't at home, so she got a thing in her door, and so she did get a turkey. But we have the little card that they left,
Yeah.
and it's in a frame, sitting up on, there with her wild turkey bottles. So
yeah.
we've got the wild turkey bottles on display on top of her china cabinet, and there sits the little wild
card
turkey
for the
thing,
turkey?
card for the turkey from Wild
Awesome.
Turkey. So I mean. Think about that. 20 years from now, people will be like, "You remember these? You remember when Matthew McConaughey delivered turkeys?" And people couldn't believe he was in Lawrenceburg. All right, now, Denise.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about Crystal Rogers. Have you been watching the show?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I watched the first 2 episodes, 2.5
Okay.
episodes. So I've got some catching up to
Yes,
do, but
because-
oh my word, it's riveting.
Yes. So they just had the 5th one, and that was the final one.
Yeah, I've got to go back and watch
So
it.
I don't want to spoil it for you. Though I will say, I was a little disappointed by the 5th one because I didn't think it was as interesting as maybe the first 4. And I thought there was going to be some. I mean, obviously they've not charged anybody. We know
Right.
that. So I wasn't expecting anything like that, but I was expecting some big story or something on the 5th one, and I was a little disappointed that it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was a good. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong,
Yeah.
and definitely watch it. But I was like, is that all?
It really makes you think about things.
Right. So if you haven't watched it, I'm sure you can probably get it on demand.
It's, Oxygen Network.
Right. It's on Oxygen. And for those of you who remember, and I saw the advertisement for it, and I didn't set the DVR for it right at the time, and I should have because I forgot. But this past weekend, they had a whole show on Oxygen Network about Shane Ragland, the guy that
yeah.
killed Trent
Yep.
DiGiorno at UK.
Yeah.
And the football player
Right.
was sitting on the front porch back in the 90s. That was 1994. I had 93. 3 episodes. Oh, is there 3 episodes of those? Oh, I thought it was just 1. Okay, so I need to go watch that one and catch up on the first one. Mr. Producer says there's 3 episodes about that. So that occurred in 1994 at UK. I was a student at UK just prior to that, and then I started for UK Police Force right after that. So I was there when a lot of that was going on, and when they finally figured out who it was, and when they charged him, and when they had the trial. I was working there when they were doing all that. The house is still there. Same place, but they were filming TV shows back forth then, and they were recreating things and setting up surveys over across the street from where they think that he had made the shot from. So I need to go back and watch that too. So local stuff. So Oxygen's really kind of focusing on Kentucky a little bit. So if y'all are looking for something interesting to watch, those are local, real crimes. I mean, that's the real deal.
Yep.
So I don't think I have. Oh, let's talk about the library real quick. I almost forgot.
Okay.
We just got a few things that haven't already passed. I gotta have my own woman glasses. I was telling Denise, I was bragging to her that I went and had my eyes checked last week for my checkup. I still have 20/20 vision. She's like, "Oh, you have great eyes. You got 20/20 vision." And I said, "Yeah, but I gotta wear reading glasses." And she went, "Yeah." And I'm like, "So that's common?" She went, "Yeah, you can have 20/20 vision and still need to wear reading glasses." And I went, "Oh." So yeah. So when it comes close up with this, look at how little bitty this print is.
I can read it. Just saying.
She's almost as old as me.
But not quite.
Give her 1 more month and she'll be there. We're only 10 months apart. Don't let her fool you. Your day's coming,
I know.
sister. Your
I
day's
know.
coming. Okay, so acrylic painting, September the 19th and the 26th from 5 to 6:30. The writers group is September the 20th from 6 to 7:45. Writers lab is September the 18th, 6 to 7 p.m. The Doctor Who screening and craft. That sounds kind of cool. September the 22nd from 1 to 3. Financial literacy is September 27th from 6 to 7:30. And the Burgess special presentation is Lincoln's Path to Success is September the 29th from 2 to 3.
Jill, last week I went down to the library and was trained on
Did you
the
that
Maker
media
Studio.
thing?
Yes,
we talked about that before.
That is so nice to be available. They have the studio lighting, they have the boom mics, and they go over all of it with you and teach you how to use it. And when you reserve the space, if you tell them what you're going to be using, like if you're going to be filming or taking still shots or what backdrop you want, they'll have it all set up and ready for you when you get there. Even the settings on the cameras.
So when I need something done, you're going to go there and do it, right?
Yeah, I can help you. But literally, when you reserve the spot, the folks at the library will get it all set up and set the camera to the settings that you want. So don't be intimidated by it if you think, I don't know how to do all that. They will help you. It's a really a good opportunity for our community. So.
Or you can just get a bestie like Denise and go, I need you to
help
do
me?
this. Yes. Not can you help me? I don't even
you do
ask
it?
anymore. I just go, I need you to come do this. And she goes, okay, I'll be there in a minute. Just like she did today.
That's right.
So I think we are done.
Yeah.
And I appreciate again you coming. And I know
Happy
Tiffany.
to do it.
I don't know if Tiffany appreciated it. She just was when I said Denise is coming, and she was like, tell her I said thank you so much. So hoping she's enjoying her son's golf tournament. She
go.
didn't want to miss that. We don't like to miss our kids'
right.
sporting events. And so, speaking of sporting events, we're going to get off here because Denise has to take her child to a sporting event. I got to take my kid to a sporting event. And
Don't forget to vote for the game of the week.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And Wind Down Wednesday is taking place where, Mr. Producer, if you're interested? Coffee Tree in Frankfort. Now, granted, I know you're not going to see this until after that, but they have it every Wednesday, correct? And tonight, my nephew, Mr. Producer's son, Reed, is the featured musician for that gig. So, and I think he's played there before, right? So, one other time. So, there's other artists that they have there too, and it's not in Lawrenceburg, but if you want to go see my nephew, I'm sure he'd appreciate it for future events that he's going to be there for. So, there's a little shout out to Mr. Reed. I know if I saw him in person right now, he'd be going, oh my God.
He's probably embarrassed.
I know, isn't it great? That's what I answer for. All right, so we will see y'all next week, and y'all have a good week. Bye.